Good afternoon, everyone, from Mountain View Park. Welcome to the District 31 All-Star Tournament. I'm Mike Benson for George Langevin Productions, and today it's Poway American going up against Poway National. And let's take a look at the starting lineups for the National League. Starting at first base, wearing number 12 is Steve Hamilton. Wearing number 9 and playing second base is Chris Smeal. Starting in the shortstop position, wearing number 2, Peter Brown. Wearing number 11 at third base, Scott Elliott. In left field, wearing number 7, DJ Lieberman. Wearing number 4, starting at center field, Billy Gautreaux. And rounding out the outfield for the national team, wearing number 8 is Josh Arbenz. Getting the starting nod on the mound, wearing number 10 is Josh Thompson. And handling the catching duties, wearing number 13, Eric Groff. Leading things off for the American League, the second baseman, Nathan Tibbs. As the first pitch comes ball inside, on deck, the third baseman, or the shortstop, Gary Templeton. In the hole is Brian Peterson, the third baseman for the American team. And the ball is hit down towards the shortstop, who gloves it, makes the strong throw over in time for out number 1. That brings up Gary Templeton. Let's take a look at the rest of the order for the American team. Dave Jordan will be the cleanup hitter, playing first base. Pat Edwards will bat fifth. He's the pitcher, as the left-handed Gary Templeton awaiting the first pitch coming in. And Gary turns to bunt. The ball thrown a bit low. That will be called strike 1. Batting sixth is Greg Baer, the catcher. Batting seventh is Adam Clark in right field. Sean Barnes, the center fielder, batting eighth, and David Shuey in left field, batting ninth for the American team. And that ball is drilled right between the second baseman and the first baseman for the first hit of the ball game by Gary Templeton. Getting around very well on that pitch. Third baseman, number 2, Brian Peterson. Brian Peterson, the third baseman, at the plate with 1 out and 1 runner on. The American team off to a nice start here. Templeton on the steal attempt, and they got him. Nice throw there. The catcher guns him down. Eric Groff, the all-star catcher for the National, showing why he is, in fact, an all-star. The batter, Brian Peterson, squared to bunt. Figured that would throw off the timing of the pitcher and catcher, but to no avail as they catch Templeton attempting to steal second. Ball low and outside. Evens up the count at 1. So here comes the 1-1 delivery. The submarine pitch low and inside. 2 balls, 1 strike on Brian Peterson. So Nathan Tibbs starts the game off grounding out to the shortstop. Gary Templeton follows with a base hit, then attempts to steal second, is caught stealing, so that clears the bases here with 2 outs. The American team looking for a 2-out rally here. Peterson hit by that Thompson fastball, shakes it off and trots down to first base. That ball catching Peterson right in the hip area, and he appears to be okay. Brings up the cleanup hitter for the American team, Dave Jordan. And Dave ropes one out to left as Brian Peterson decides to hold up at second as the outfield got that ball in very quickly to infield. So Dave Jordan with a nice base hit out to left field brings up Pat Edwards. 2 down, runners on first and second. Pat Edwards will look to help his own cause here. He'll be on the mound when the American team takes the field. Greg Bear on deck, Adam Clark in the hole for the American team. So Pat Edwards squaring to bunt, then deciding to pull away at the last moment. First pitch called ball. Ball low and outside. The umpire behind the plate today is John Coffey, and Dave DeWitt handling the umpiring on the base paths as that ball is roped right between the shortstop and third baseman, and that will load the bases. The American team coming up with a nice 2-out rally here, have the bases chunked with 2 down. Greg Bear will come to the plate. Greg Bear at the plate, looking to keep this rally going. First pitch called strike right down the middle. So with 2 outs, Brian Peterson is hit by a pitch. Dave Jordan and Pat Edwards with back-to-back base hits loads the bases up here for the American team. As the 1-0 delivery comes in, and that ball is smoked by almost caught by the left fielder, but gets to the fence. That will score 2 runs, possibly 3. And Greg Bear with a 3-run double for the American team. So Poway American keeping things going with 2 outs. They're out in front 3-0. Greg Bear coming through in the clutch with the bases loaded. Really tagged that one out to left. The left fielder almost coming up with a beautiful catch there. Adam Clark at the plate. And hits a trickler down the third base side in foul territory. So 2 down, 3 runs have come across to the American. Greg Bear, after that solid double, standing on second base. Adam Clark, the tall, slender right fielder, looking to continue the damage here. Takes a big cut. So 2 balls, no strikes. Josh Thompson on the mound for the National delivers the 2-0 pitch, and that one a chopper to the third baseman. Over in time for the 3rd out, but not before the American team picks up 3 runs on 4 hits. The National League team coming up next. Starting at first base for the American team, wearing number 8, is Dave Jordan. Starting at second, wearing number 1, is Nathan Tibbs. At shortstop, wearing number 5, Gary Templeton. And at third base, wearing number 2, is Brian Peterson. Taking a look at the outfield, out and left wearing number 12 is David Shuey. Starting at center field wearing number 3 is Sean Barnes. And rounding out the outfield for the American team, wearing number 16 in right field, Adam Clark. Wearing number 10 is Pat Edwards. He'll be the starting pitcher for the American team today. And Greg Bear, as he handles that first pitch coming in, will be taking care of the catching duties for the American team. So 1 ball, no strikes, coming in and a big cut there by the leadoff batter, Josh Thompson. Evens up the count at 1-1. The 1-1 delivery comes in, ball outside. Unusual to see a pitcher leading things off for a team, but that is the case today. So Josh Thompson, one of the multifaceted all-stars here, playing in this District 31 All-Star Tournament Classic. That ball just catching the outside corner surprises Josh Thompson, so he'll sit down, going down on strikes. Brings up Peter Brown. Batting third will be Steve Hamilton. The cleanup hitter is Scott Elliott. Batting fifth is Chris Smeal. Batting sixth is Josh Arbenz. Billy Gautreaux batting seventh as that ball is hit high in the air along the third base side and taken in by Peterson. So Peter Brown will sit down as well. 2 up, 2 down so far. Brings up Steve Hamilton. And finishing up the batting order for the national team, batting eighth, the catcher Eric Groff and DJ Lieberman batting ninth for the national team. So Steve Hamilton, the third baseman, showing that good arm strength, responsible for that last out of the first inning as he gunned it over to first. And that ball is smacked out to center field and caught by the center fielder. So 3 up, 3 down at the end of 1 complete inning of play. The American team out in front, 3-0 over the National.
Let's go, let's go!
Leading things off in the top half of the second inning for the American, Sean Barnes. The first pitch is hit right to the shortstop, who throws over to first in time for the first out of the inning. And that brings up David Shuey, the left fielder. So the American team coming off a very productive first inning of play with 4 hits, 3 runs, and 1 runner stranded on base, looking for their second consecutive successful inning here. As the first pitch comes into David Shuey, he bunts it right back to the pitcher, who gloves it, makes the throw in time for the second out. Brings up the leadoff batter, Nathan Tibbs. Nathan grounded out to the shortstop in his first plate appearance. So Nathan getting well around on his first hit. Unable to come up with a clean base hit. Will look to go 1 for 2 here. Josh Thompson on the mound for the national team. On deck is Gary Templeton and Brian Peterson in the hole for the American team. Tibbs slices one out to right field. Will it stay fair? No. Just ends up in foul territory. That one had at least a double written all over it. So Nathan will look to get around a little bit earlier this time. So Nathan Tibbs looking for that 2-out rally here for the American team. Ball high.
Hey, Josh, what do we say? Go Poway!
That ball is smacked out to right field. This time it stays fair. And Nathan Tibbs with a nice base hit there for the American team, keeping it alive with 2 outs here.
Right there, right there. Get it back.
Gary Templeton at the plate. And Gary hits a high fly ball out to center field. That might get in and drops for a base hit for Templeton as Tibbs takes third, and Templeton, trying to stretch that single into a double, is caught at second base for the 3rd out. So at the end of 1.5 innings of play, the American team out in front 3-0 over the national team. Leading off in the bottom of the 2nd for the national team will be Scott Elliott, the 3rd baseman. Ball high and inside. Joe Gautreaux is the manager for the national team, and Phil Thompson helping out on the coaching end. As the 1-0 delivery comes in, and a big cut there by Elliott. Lloyd Munzer is managing the American team, and Tom Guthrie helping out on the coaching end for these 11 and 12-year-old All-Stars here. Ball high and inside. Two balls, one strike, the count on Elliott. Chris Smeal is on deck, and Josh Arbenz in the hole for the national team. And that ball fouled back and away. Evens the count at 2-2. And a big cut there sends Scott Elliott down on strikes. So the pitcher for the American team, Pat Edwards, doing a nice job on the mound. Has 2 strikeouts so far. Has faced 4 batters and sat 4 batters down. So Chris Smeal looking to become the first runner for the national team. And hits the curveball to the second baseman. Makes the throw over for the 2nd out. 2 up, 2 down brings up Josh Arbenz. Josh Arbenz, the right fielder, takes a big swing, big uppercut, a la Jose Canseco. So Josh Arbenz looking to lift one out of this stadium. And does just that. Bangs one out to right center. That one up against the fence. Josh rounding first and will stay at second with a stand-up double for the national team. Josh Arbenz representing the first base runner of the game for the national team. Keeps things going with 2 outs. Brings up Billy Gautreau, the center fielder. On deck is Eric Groff, and rounding out the lineup for the national team, DJ Lieberman in the hole. And that ball just catching the outside corner of the plate. Called strike. Two down, runner on second base. And the delivery comes into Gautreau, who fouls it back and away over the backstop. No balls, 2 strikes to count on Billy Gautreau. Low and outside, so 1 ball, 2 strikes. Billy will have to protect here. And hits a one bouncer to the second baseman, who makes the throw in time for the 3rd out. So on 1 hit, 1 runner stranded. The end of 2 complete innings of play. The American team 3 and the national team 0. Brian Peterson leading off in the top half of the 3rd inning. Takes ball inside, almost getting hit by a pitch for the 2nd consecutive time. Brian, of course, reaching first and scoring a run, and really ropes him right back to the shortstop. A line drive. The shortstop barely having to move a muscle. 1 up, 1 down. Brings up the first baseman, Dave Jordan. Dave had a single and scored a run in the 1st inning of play for the American team. On this day, July 15th, let's take a look at some Major League standings as we go along here. As Josh Thompson delivers the 1-0 pitch, and that ball drilled foul down the 3rd base side. In the National League West, the Los Angeles Dodgers are 5 games out in front of Cincinnati. Atlanta's 5.5 games back. And the Padres, dipping well below 500, find themselves 9.5 games behind. So Dave Jordan calls timeout and steps back. Let's take a look at the National League East. The Pittsburgh Pirates with the best percentage in in all of baseball with a .627 percentage as that ball is fouled back. They're out in front of the Mets by 3.5 games. And we'll take a look at the American League in a moment. So Dave Jordan, the batter, Pat Edwards on deck, and Greg Baer in the hole for the American team. They're out in front 3-0 over the National. Dave Jordan, the first baseman. Ball inside. So both pitchers today mixing things up nice with their fastball and curveball. And that ball is spanked out to left, and the left fielder coming over for the national team, DJ Lieberman, for the 2nd out. And that brings up Pat Edwards, who had a single and scored a run as well for the American team. Josh Thompson winds up and delivers. And that ball just catching the inside corner of the plate, called strike. That breaking ball backing up Edwards just a hair. And that ball dribbled down foul territory on the third base side.
Let's go, get everybody ready.
So the American team with 5 hits on the day have scored 3 runs. 2 up, 2 down here. And that ball is smoked to the center fielder, who makes a shoestring catch for the third out. A beautiful play there by Billy Gautreaux for the National League. So at the end of 2.5 innings of play, the American team still out in front, 3-0 over the Nationals. Leading off for the national team in the bottom of the third inning of play, the catcher, Eric Groff. As the first pitch comes in, and he belts it up the middle. A nice play by Templeton, who gloves it, makes the throw in time. All-star type play by Templeton, who guns it over Eric Groff. That disappointed look on his face, you know he feels he was robbed of a hit. So 1 up, 1 down brings up DJ Lieberman. DJ, of course, making that nice catch out in left field in the top of this inning. Swing and a miss for strike 1. He really wanted that one. Unable to make contact, however. On deck is Josh Thompson and Peter Brown in the hole for the national team. Looking to make a comeback here as they're down by 3 runs. The pitcher here for the American team, Pat Edwards, handling the national team batters very well today. A pop fly to the third baseman. He gloves it, so 2 up, 2 down. And that's been the scenario all game long so far. The first inning, it was 3 up, 3 down. The second inning of play, it was 4 up, 3 down. And already here in the bottom of the third, it's 2 up, 2 down. Josh Thompson, the pitcher for the American team, taking a big cut. So Josh taking a liking to that high pitch, that fastball throwing hard right over the center of the plate, a bit high though. And here comes the 1-1 delivery from Edwards, and that ball spanked right down the third base side as the umpire calls that one foul. From this angle, it looks as if it may have went right over the bag, but apparently just outside the bag. So Josh Thompson with 2 strikes. You can hear the manager and coach of the national team telling him that he must protect here with 2 strikes. And that ball called strike. Edwards really taking control on the mound. So at the end of 3 complete innings of play, the American team 3 and the national team 0. Leading things off in the top of the 4th inning of play for the American team is Greg Bear, who takes the first pitch, ball inside. Greg doubled his last time up. His double came at a great time with bases chunked, scoring all 3 of those runs. So Greg Bear 1 for 1 in the afternoon with 3 RBIs. Looking to add to his totals here. On deck is Adam Clark and Sean Barnes in the hole for the American team. And that ball is drilled to center field on the one bouncer to center. The second consecutive hit of the game for Greg Bear. And that brings up Adam Clark. Adam grounded out to the third baseman in his last at-bat. The American team with 5 hits on the afternoon, make that 6 actually with Greg Bear's hit just then. 3 runs as a big cut by Adam Clark gives him 1 strike. And here comes the delivery and the pitch, and that ball hits to the shortstop, who gloves it, makes the throw, attempts to double play, but not in time. So Greg Bear forced off second base. 1 down brings up Sean Barnes. As Josh Harris remains on first base with a fielder's choice.
Number 11, James Petro.
So the American team scoring 3 runs in the first inning, unable to score in the second and third. Have 1 down with a runner on first. As the first pitch comes in low and away to James Tutro, stepping in for Sean Barnes. On deck is David Shuey.
Heads up, everybody.
Josh Thompson still on the mound for the national team. Delivers high and inside. Josh Thompson working with the catcher Eric Groff to come up with the pitch that he likes. And that ball bunted right in front of the plate, and Groff unable to handle it. So James Tutro will reach first base safely in his first plate appearance. And very difficult to tell if they will give him a base hit there or an error on the catcher. Either way, Tutro will take it. Adam Clark advances to second, so 1 down, runners on first and second. Brings up Nathan Bestel, number 13. He'll be batting in place of David Shuey. Nathan takes the first pitch, ball outside. Nathan, one of the taller players for the American team. As Adam Clark gets back to second base safely, acting as if he were going to attempt to steal third, but never had any intention, really. And that ball catching the inside corner of the strike zone. Evens up the count at 1 ball, 1 strike on Nathan Bestel. Seeing his first plate appearance of the day, batting for David Shuey. As the pitch comes in from Thompson, and that ball, a dribbler back to the pitcher who turns, makes the throw over to third to force out Adam Clark. And Nathan Bestel will reach first safely on a fielder's choice. So Josh Thompson doing a nice job hustling off the mound, fielding that ball, pivoting and making the throw. Looking like an all-star on that play, defensively for his team.
Right there. Be ready. Your way, Steve. Your way.
Ball outside. So there's 2 down, runners on first and second. The batter is Nathan Tibbs, who is the leadoff hitter for the American team. Grounded out to the shortstop his first time up and had a base hit. Was stranded on third, however, in the second inning. So Nathan Tibbs looking to go 2 for 3 here, making good contact all day long. The American team. And that ball drilled right back to the pitcher, Thompson, who gloves it and makes the throw over in time for the 3rd out. So at the end of 3.5 innings of play, the American team 3, the national team 0.
All we have is $43. Come on, guys, that's weak. Let's go, that's weak. Come on.
Peter Brown leading things off and wastes no time, smacking one down the third base side. He's going to take second and should be in there for a stand-up double for the national team. So Peter Brown, who flew out to the third baseman his first time up, comes back, really getting around this time, ropes one right to the right side of the third baseman. He's 1 for 2 on the afternoon. And that brings up Steve Hamilton, the first baseman, who flew out to the center fielder his last time up. On deck is Scott Elliott. So the national team down by 3 runs, 3-0. Off to a great start here in the bottom half of the 4th. With first base open after the double by Brown, the American League will intentionally walk Hamilton. The hard-hitting Hamilton apparently posing a threat here. You can see the catcher just sticking his right hand out, telling the pitcher to put this man on first base, as Peter Brown, of course, with that double on second, that left first base open, so the American team apparently would rather pitch to Scott Elliott than Steve Hamilton, puts him on first base, so no outs, runners on first and second. Scott Elliott, who went down on strikes his last time up, is at the plate. And that ball pitched low, but just catching the strike zone. The umpire apparently liking that low strike zone area. Chris Smeal is on deck. And a nice cut there by Scott Elliott. Unable to make contact, so no balls, 2 strikes. Scott will have to choke up and just look to make contact. You can see he's choking up about an inch on the bat and does make contact to the third baseman, who turns, pivots over towards Templeton, handling third base, coming over from shortstop in time for the force out at third. Scott Elliott reaching first on a fielder's choice. And Hamilton, of course, advancing to second. First pitch called ball to Chris Smeal. Chris grounded out to the second baseman in his first at-bat. And on the pass ball, Hamilton advances to third. And Scott Elliott, of course, advancing to second. So 1 down, runners on second and third. Chris Smeal, the batter, looking for that RBI, but not on that pitch, catching the outside of the strike zone. Here comes the delivery, and they got him. Strike 3 for Chris Smeal. So he'll sit down. 2 down, runners on second and third still. brings up Josh Arben. And Josh had a double his last time up and really gets well around on this one and smacks it out towards the fence in foul territory. If that one stayed fair, he may very well have had his second consecutive double. Josh Arbenz really finding the eye at the plate today. Not a bad time to come up with an extra base hit. With runners on second and third, his team down by 3 runs. Ball inside. Billy Gautreau, the center fielder, up next for the national team. As the delivery comes in, and that ball is popped up to the second baseman, and that will do it. At the end of 4 complete innings of play, the national team threatening there momentarily, still down 3-0. Gary Templeton leading things off in the top of the 5th. Wastes no time, ropes the first pitch right over the shortstop's head for his 3rd consecutive base hit of the game. So Gary Templeton, 3 for 3 on the afternoon, had a single his first time up, was caught stealing second, and actually tried to stretch a single into a double, showing good aggressiveness on the base pass. Was taken out on second in the second inning, and singles here in the 4th. Matt Schmidt will come into the game for the national team, taking the place of Josh Thompson on the mound. And pitcher Josh Thompson will move to the outfield for the national team. And he will occupy the center field position.
Cover that ground.
Brian Peterson, who lined out to the shortstop in his last at-bat, is at the plate. First pitch called strike. Just catching the outside corner, so Matt Schmidt, wasting no time, delivers a strike on his first pitch. Gary Templeton on first. And that ball belted out to right center. Josh Thompson hesitating, but finally getting the ball into the infield, holds Templeton up at second. Gary, generally very aggressive on the base pass, was thrown out twice today, so decided to stay that time. As Thompson, as we mentioned, hesitated in the outfield. So runners on first and second. Brings up Dave Jordan. And Dave flew out to the left fielders last time up after getting a base hit and scoring a run in the first inning. Squares and bunts. The sacrifice bunt not working, as Templeton, hustling down to third, is called out as the pitcher. Matt Schmidt doing a great job hustling from the mound to retrieve that ball, make the pivot, and make the strong throw over to first for the first out of the inning.
Outfield, think about what you're doing. Shut up.
So one down, runners on first and second. Brings up Pat Edwards, the pitcher. Pat hit a line drive to the center fielder his last time up, and he had a single and scored a run in the first, so hitting the ball very hard all day long, Pat Edwards. The first pitch low and outside to Edwards. So Gary Templeton starting off the inning with a base hit, followed by a base hit by Brian Peterson. And Dave Jordan squaring to bunt. He's actually forcing out Templeton at third. The pass ball sending Brian Peterson to third and Dave Jordan to second. So the American team threatening once again here. After scoring 3 runs in the first inning, we're scoreless in the second, third, and fourth. We'll look to get back in the scoring column here in the 5th inning.
Okay, Matt, what do you say? Tell him that, buddy. Good hustle, Michael. Outfield ready.
The delivery by Schmidt, ball inside, and that will walk Pat Edwards. That being the first walk of the game. All pitchers showing decent control today, keeping the ball in the vicinity of the strike zone. Greg Bear, 2 for 2 on the afternoon with a double and a single. Groff holding on that time. The ball thrown a bit low. 1 down, bases loaded. Greg Bear with those 3 RBIs on those 3 runs there. Hits a fly ball to the center fielder. Thompson throws home. Heads up play there by Josh, not allowing the runner Peterson to advance to the plate. And that brings up Adam Clark. With 2 outs here.
Right there, Josh. See the ball, get a jump. Get a jump now. 2 down.
So Josh Harris actually will come in to bat for Adam Clark. Josh playing in the right field position for the American team.
Hey, Will, get on that base early. Greg, you're letting him get too big a jump.
Popped up to the first base side. Groff and Schmidt hustling over to try to come up with a catch. But the ball falls right between them, so Harris will have a second life here.
See that ball? Get a jump. Get a jump.
So the American team threatening here
Josh Arban.
once again. They're out in front 3-0, and a nice big cut there by Josh Harris. That swing had RBI time written all over it. Josh was looking for that grand slam. And the delivery comes in low and away, but Groff able to keep the ball in his vicinity, not allowing any of the runners to advance. So Brian Peterson, after his single, is on third base. Dave Jordan on second, and Pat Edwards on first base. And that ball thrown right back to the hardwood, bounding back to the catcher. Working as a 10th fielder, if you will, again, not allowing the runners to advance. The American team with 8 hits on the afternoon. And Schmidt strikes him out at the end of 4.5 innings of play. The American team threatening but not scoring, still out in front by a score of 3-0 over the national team.
Right now. Let's go. Get ready. Let's go.
Leading things off for the national team in the bottom half of the 5th inning is the center fielder, Billy Gautreaux. Billy grounded out to the second baseman, his first time up, as the first pitch comes across, called strike. Pat Edwards still on the mound for the American team. Ball low evens up the count at 1-1. On deck is Eric Groff, and in the hole will be Michael Anderson batting in place of DJ Lieberman. The 1-1 pitch, call strike. Again, the umpire taking a liking to that low strike zone. So the coaches of each respective team, I'm sure, are sharing that with their players. If the ball is thrown a bit low, look to protect. So the national team looking for their first run of the game here. And that ball drilled over Templeton's head, gets out to the center fielder. And rounding first and deciding to stay at first is Billy Gautreau with a strong single. So the national team with their leadoff batter on base. Not a bad time to come up with some runs as they're down by 3. High fly ball to the second base side and caught by the second baseman, Nathan Tibbs, for the first out as Billy Gautreau remains on first. And that will bring up Michael Anderson. And Michael, of course, batting in place of DJ Lieberman. First pitch low and outside. So one down, runner on first. Michael Anderson, his first plate appearance. Watches that ball go low and inside as well. Two balls, no strikes. Here's the delivery. That one right down the pipe. 2 balls, 1 strike to count on Michael Anderson. Josh Thompson on deck for the national team. And that one just catching the outside corner. Evens up the count at 2-2. So Michael, in his first All-Star appearance, will have to protect here. You can see he's choked up just a hair on that bat and makes contact, fouling it back towards the backstop. So Michael doing his job there with 2 strikes. The national team really threatened in the last inning. Had the bases loaded, but were unable to come up with a score. And that ball outside will fill up the count on Anderson. So the national team looking to threaten once again. Pat Edwards with the full count delivery. It's a comebacker. He turns to second, and the throw over, but not handled by the first baseman. So Michael Anderson will advance to second as the ball gets by the first baseman over here. So Michael Anderson reaching on a fielder's choice as Templeton forces Billy Gautreau out at second. 2 down, runner on second, brings up Josh Thompson. First pitch, call strike on Josh. So Josh, who has went down on strikes in his 2 at-bats today, will look to redeem himself here. And makes contact up the middle, fielded by Templeton, who makes the throw over and called safe, as Gary just bobbled that ball once. By the time he picked it up to make the throw over, the hustling Josh Thompson reaches safely, and that moves Michael Anderson over to third. So 2 down, runners on the corners, brings up Peter Brown. Peter doubled his last time up. Flew out to the third baseman his first time up. So 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Peter Brown in an RBI situation here. Peter Brown at the plate here with runners on first and third. 2 down. The delivery to Brown, called ball inside. On deck for the national team is Steve Hamilton. So the national team threatening for the second consecutive inning. And the pass ball, the runner will come and score the first run of the game for the national team as the hustling Michael Anderson, or Josh Thompson, I should say, makes it all the way around to third. 3-1 the score. The American team still out in front of the national team. And you can hear the players saying rally. They have 2 outs, and this would be the time to get a rally going. 2 down, 1 run has come across, runner on third, as Peter Brown awaits the 2-0 delivery. The pitcher winds up and deals low and inside for ball 3. So Peter again making solid contact in his last plate appearance, had a double. Hoping for an RBI here with Thompson on third base. Ball low, so Peter Brown will move to first with a walk. Brings up Steve Hamilton. The national team trailing by 2 runs. Have runners on the corners. The first baseman, Steve Hamilton, at the plate. Pat Edwards, still on the mound for the American team, doing a good job, decides to intentionally walk Hamilton. Hamilton, a solid hitter all season long. A managerial decision here, deciding to intentionally walk Steve Hamilton for actually the 2nd consecutive time. And that will bring Scott Elliott to the plate. So Hamilton probably fuming inside, patiently awaiting his trot down to first. I know Steve is saying, hey, let me have a chance to poke another one. But will not have that chance as he's intentionally walked and will take first. Peter Brown will advance to second. So 2 outs, bases loaded. Scott Elliott, the batter. As promised, let's take a look at the American League standings in the West. Minnesota, 2 games out in front of Texas. And who would ever thought that the Oakland A's would be 3.5 down? But they are. They're actually tied with Chicago, 3.5 games behind in the West. And in the American League East, the Toronto Blue Jays, thanks to the acquisition of Joe Carter coming from the Padres, are 7.5 games out in front of Boston. And Detroit is 8 games back. And that takes care of the standings on July 15th, 1991. Scott Elliott steps in and watches the first pitch, ball inside. So Pat Edwards, who has pitched the whole game through, will have to keep his control here. It's in a clutch situation and comes through in the clutch on that pitch. Evens up the count at 1-1. So Pat doing a nice job on the mound today for the American team. 3-1 the score, and that pitch gets by the catcher, and the run will score. 3-2. The national team only trailing by 1 now. Josh Thompson comes across for the run. The 2nd run of the inning, as Michael Anderson scored the 1st run for the national team. And that pass ball also advances Peter Brown to third, and Steve Hamilton moves to second. Scott Elliott hits a dribbler in foul territory down the third base side. Still hanging tough at the plate. So Billy Gautreaux leading off the inning with a single. Eric Groff flies out to the second baseman. Michael Anderson reaches on a fielder's choice as they force Gautreaux out at second. And that ball, a Texas leaguer into short. Templeton diving for it, can't get it. That will score 2 runs. And a double by Scott Elliott as he advances to third as the throw comes in. So a clutch hit by Scott Elliott, who came to the plate thanks to an intentional walk to Steve Hamilton, and doing his job as the national team goes out in front by a score of 4-3 over the American team. A 2-run double by Scott Elliott. Chris Meal taking a big cut there, fouls it back. Chris went down on strikes in his last at-bat. And here comes the delivery. That one fouled back as well. So Michael Anderson scoring a run, Josh Thompson, Peter Brown, and Steve Hamilton responsible for the 4 runs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The National out in front, 4-3. That ball gets through the first and second baseman scoring another run. So Chris Meal with an RBI single will take second on the overthrow. Five to 3, the national team out in front of the American team. The national team, unable to score in the 4 previous innings, come out with a bang here in the bottom of the 5th. Have picked up 5 runs and are about to bat around as Josh Arbenz comes to the plate.
Are you doing this?
So Chris Schmiel, who initially thought that he was awarded third base, will have to come back to second. But either way, he's responsible for the RBI single that scores Elliott to put his club out in front 5-3 over the American team. As Josh Arbenz, who's 1 for 2 on the afternoon with a double, is at the plate for the national team. The national team coming up with a rally at the right time here. Could never really get anything going in the first 4 innings of play. Actually threatened in the 4th, but did not score. But come through here in the 5th inning. Of course, the American team will have an opportunity to make a comeback when we go into the top of the 6th inning and final inning of play here in the District 31 All-Star Tournament. Josh Arbenz steps in, the delivery, and that one fouled over the first base side and out of play. The delivery by Edwards, ball inside, and that one backing Josh Arbenz away just to keep himself from getting hit on that pitch. Two down, and that ball, a comebacker over to first in time, but not before the national team picks up 5 runs and go out in front by a score of 5-3 over the American League after 5 complete innings of play. Coming into pitch for the national team, wearing number 6, Carlos Rincon.
By the way, I agreed with the altercation.
James Tuttrow leading off in the top of the sixth, squares to bunt, then pulls away. First pitch ball and outside by Carlos Rincon. Carlos seeing his first appearance as a pitcher in this All-Star game today. And Carlos throwing that nice breaking ball. Just a hair inside will even up the count at 1-1 strike. So Rincon speaking with his catcher to see if he can regain his composure here. A beautiful day for baseball at Mountain View Park in Escondido. And here comes the delivery by Rincon. The batter squaring around and pulling away this time. Called strike. James Tuttrow reached safely on a bunt his last time up. The 2-1 delivery from Rincon. So James Tuttrow with the count even at 2-2. Will look to make contact here. Ball low, and that will fill up the count to James Tuttrow. James looking to make good on his first bat appearance here in this All-Star game. And the 3-2 delivery, and it's a chopper to the second baseman who gloves it and then can't find the handle. So James Tuttrow reaching safely on the error. And that brings up Nathan Bestel. Nathan reaching on a fielder's choice in his last at-bat. So the American team down by 2 here. Have to do it in this final inning.
Fire, Carlos, fire! Josh, hurry up, get ready! Back some! Right there!
And the pitch to Bestel, who squares to bunt and decides to pull it back. Rincon puts that one right over the plate.
See that ball, get jump.
No outs, runner on first. James Tuttrow reaching on an error after hitting the ball on a chopper to the second baseman. The second baseman actually initially gloved that one, thought he would make the throw, and then the ball just fell out of his hand, allowing Tuttrow to reach first safely. Ball outside. And that will even up the count at 2-2 strikes on Nathan Bestel. Called strike to the dismay of the offensive team, and that will fill up the count. Ball 4 will advance Tuttrow to second, and Bestel, of course, will take first. So if there was ever a time to get a rally going, now's the time as the American team is down by 2. Moving into pitch for the national team is Peter Brown. The American League, or actually the American team, down by a score of 5-3. The national team coming back with that 5 runs in the 5th inning. 5-3 the score. Nathan Tibbs coming to the plate for the American team. Watches the first pitch come right down the pipe for strike 1. So Peter Brown coming in to pitch in place of Carlos Rincon, doing his job right away. Throws the second pitch in the dirt as the runners advance from second to third. That was Tuttrow. James Tuttrow stealing as the catcher could not control that pitch by Peterson. So Peter Brown with the delivery, and that ball gets through the hole between first and second to score a run. 5-4, the American League team coming right back. Nathan Tibbs with an RBI single, advancing Nathan Vestal to second. No outs, runners on first and second. Brings up Gary Templeton, who's 3 for 3 on the afternoon, having a great day a la Gary Templeton, his father. And lays down a bunt down the first base side and hustles for a base hit of his own for his 4th consecutive base hit of the game. Gary just laid that one down right between the pitcher and the first baseman. No one could get to the ball in time as the runners advance, and the bases are chunked here with no outs. The American team with a big rally in the top of the 6th. So Gary Templeton having a great afternoon here, 4 for 4 on the afternoon. Doing his job as an offensive weapon for the American team. As the pitch comes in, and hit by pitch is Brian Peterson. Or Tony Constable make it. Actually, that's Brian Peterson. When he went down, it looked as if his number turned to 7, who is Tony Constable. But Brian, actually trying to back away from that pitch, was hit right in the back of the head. And the manager just coming over to make sure that he's okay. And he will be. And that, of course, will bring a runner in as the bases were loaded. And that will tie up the ball game here as Nathan Vestal comes in. So 5-5 the score in this exciting District 31 All-Star game. And the bases, of course, still loaded. So Brian, on a pass ball, another run will come in, and the American team go out in front by a score of 6-5 on the pass ball. I was just going to mention Brian Peterson having a rough day at the plate, has been hit by a pitch twice, but I'm sure he'll shake things off as his team has just went out in front. 6-5, and Dave Jordan, the batter. So no outs. 2 runs have come across. I'll make that 3 runs have come across as Nathan Tibbs, of course, scored as well. So Tutro, Vestal, and Tibbs have all scored in this inning. 6-5, the American team out in front of the national team. As Dave Jordan goes down on strikes for the first out of the inning. And that will bring up Pat Edwards. Pat 1 for 2 on the afternoon, hitting the ball sharply in his first 2 times up. Of course, walked in the last inning of play. 1 down, runners on second and third. And Pat lays down a bunt that will fall in foul territory down the first base side. So Pat just looking to continue to help his own cause here. Has done a real nice job on the mound all afternoon long for the American team. As Peter Brown delivers, and the bunt is laid down the first base side to throw home. Not in time as Templeton comes across for a run. It was not a force out. 7-5, the American team out in front. And Pat Edwards with a bunt single and an RBI. As Brian Peterson advances to third, and Pat Edwards takes second on the throw home. So one down, 4 runs have scored in this inning. Runners on second and third. Greg Baer, the batter. First pitch called strike. Greg, another one of the big hitters for the American team. 2 for 3 on the afternoon, has hit the ball well all 3 times at bat. Flew out to the center fielder in the last inning. Takes a humongous cut at that ball. Unable to make contact. No balls, 2 strikes to count on Greg Baer. And Greg, with a chopper that gets through the middle, will score 1 run, and the second run comes across. Greg Baer with a 2-run double. You can hear the crowd going wild as the American team has just got the job done when they had to here.
Let's go! Come on, you guys! Let's go! Come on now! Let's get a car, let's go!
Scoring 6 runs in the top of the 6th inning of play. Greg Baer on second with his second double of the day. He's 3 for 4. And that will bring up Kevin Watts. Kevin coming into the game to bat in place of Josh Harris. Kevin Watts steps in to bat for the American team and wastes no time with a comebacker over to first for the second out, advancing Greg Baer to third. Two down, 6 runs have come across for the American team here in the top of the 6th inning. Greg Baer moves to third base. The score of the American team, 9, and the national team, 5. And that ball is smacked out into left field. And James Tuttrow with an RBI single for the American team.
Ready to get dirty, buddy! Ready to get dirty! Come on!
Make that 10 runs on the inning. Or 7 runs on the inning, 10 altogether, and that will do it. At the end of 5.5 innings of play, the American team picking up 7 runs in the top of the 6th, go out in front by a score of 10-5 over the national team. Carlos Rincon takes ball high and inside, leading things off in the bottom of the 6th for the national team, and really ropes one deep, and that one's out of here. Carlos Rincon smacks one deep over the fence in left center. As the whole National League team comes out to greet him. Carlos wasting no time on that second pitch down the pipe and banged it right over the fence. So with that solo homer, Rincon gives the National League 6 runs. They now trail 10-6. Brings up Eric Groff, the catcher, who flew out to the second baseman his last time up. Eric takes a big cut. Eric flew out to the second baseman in his last plate appearance, grounded out to the shortstop in the third inning. Looking for his first base hit of the game. The National League needing a rally here as Groff grounds out to the second baseman for the first out. And that will bring up Michael Anderson. Michael, who reached on a fielder's choice in the last inning and scored a run for the national team. (10-6) the score. The national team trailing by 4. Ball just outside. This the final inning of play here. So the national team must do it now if they would like to be victorious. And it's a chopper down the third base side, gloved by the third baseman in foul territory. On deck is Josh Thompson and Peter Brown in the hole for the national team. This All-Star game turning out to be a classic here. You can hear the crowd going nuts. Strike 3. Michael Anderson goes down on strike, so 2 down. 1 run has come across. 10-6 the score. The national team trails by 4. Josh Thompson will come to the plate. Josh scored a run in the last inning. So if there were ever a time to come up with a 2-out rally, this is the time to do it. As Josh Thompson, looking like Carlos Rincon on that pitch, looking to end it with 1, trying to drill that one out of the park. Lets that ball go outside, evens up the count at 1. So Josh Thompson with that big cut grounds one, a chopper to the shortstop. Templeton gloves it, makes the throw over, and that will do it. That's the ball game. The American League victorious over the national team by a score of 10-6. We'll be back in a moment for the post-game show.
Is the National American League
Good price for Webster. All the kids staying in the tournament. Got a great bunch of kids here.
We're back for the post-game show. I'm Mike Benson for George Langevin Productions. In what turned out to be a classic all-star game, the American team coming back victorious over the national team. Let's find out about some of the players right now. Let's get your name and what position you play today.
Adam Clark, and I played right field.
Okay. Talk to us, Adam, any one particular play in this game that you like most?
Yeah, Gary's playing the first inning.
Okay, good. Sounds like an unselfish player. Let's talk about Adam Clark. What was your best game of this season to make you an all-star this year?
A lot of them. Just every game.
Okay, so you were pretty consistent the whole year. Any one particular game that stands out in your mind that was your favorite?
Yeah, when I hit a home run off the Angels.
That always feels good, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What other sports are you going to play after the baseball season?
Soccer and basketball.
Okay, all-around athlete. All right, thanks for joining us and good game today.
Thanks.
All right. All right, let me get your name and what position you play today.
My name's David Shuey, and I played left field.
Okay, talk to us. David, since you're an all-star this year, is there any one particular game that stands out in your mind that was probably a favorite for you?
When I hit the home run off the Orioles.
Okay, everyone remembers the home runs, right? What about out in the field? Any special plays for you out in the field defensively this year?
Maybe when I pitched a 2-hitter off of the off the Kansas City Royals.
Okay, Kansas City. So this was against George Brett and Bo Jackson?
Nah.
Okay. What about when the baseball season's over for you? What other sports are you going to play?
Soccer, mainly.
What position do you play in soccer?
Forward or midfielder.
So you like being on the offensive end of things. When you're not playing sports, what are some of the other things you like?
Skating or rollerblading.
Good. You guys are pretty well rounded. All right. Great game today. You got to feel good about it. Take care.
All right.
All right. Okay. Let me get your name, and I guess you pitched today.
Pat Edwards.
Okay, Pat. Talk to us a little bit about your pitching today. Did you come in with any type of philosophy? Did you want to just throw straight balls and curve balls, or what was your plan?
To throw it low and outside because they have a lot of big hitters, but they can't hit that.
Okay.
And then I know I have a good defense now.
Exactly. And they have a lot of confidence in you. You got a nice hand as you came up here. But talk to us now. Obviously, you're an all-star, and you must have had a nice season. Is there any one particular game that stands out in your mind this year that was your best?
No.
So you're pretty consistent all year round. Now, you're a good pitcher, and you throw the ball well. What about at the plate? Any game in your mind that sticks out hitting-wise?
When I hit my home run.
Okay. Talk to us about that.
Well, I hit it off the Rangers, I think.
Where did you hit it to?
Left field.
Okay. All right, and what about other sports for you after the baseball season's over?
Football.
In basketball, what position you play?
Guard.
What about football?
Running back.
Okay, you have any players that you idolize in the other sports?
Will Clark.
Good, he's a good one, most definitely. What about hobbies that you enjoy?
No, just playing baseball.
Okay, that's enough. All right, great game today. Okay, you're welcome. All right, your name, what position you play today?
Brian Peterson. I played third base the whole game.
Okay. As I was asking all your other teammates, Brian, talk to us about a favorite game that sticks out in your mind this year. There must be one, or maybe there's a lot.
I didn't hit a homer, but there's a couple. I hit every time I got a base hit, and every time I fielded the ball through to first base, and the guy was out. Just every time I felt good.
Yeah.
But
what was going through your mind in today's game when you guys were down by a few runs? Did you think you were going to come back? Did you feel confident?
well, yeah, I still felt confident, even though it's the last inning. But I knew we already did it, so I knew we could do it again.
Well, that's when you're supposed to do it, right? To make it exciting in the last inning of play there. And what about you for other sports after baseball season? Because all you guys are real good athletes, and you're all-stars, and you must play other sports. What's the other sports for you?
Basketball, and this year I'm playing football.
Good. All right, have you played competitively in football yet?
No.
What position do you think you might play?
I have no idea.
Not sure. Do you think you prefer offense or defense?
Offense, rather.
And on offense, maybe running back, quarterback, on the line, what do you think you like? If you had your choice, where would you like to be?
If I had my choice, I'd rather be like a quarterback. Not a quarterback, but a running back.
Good. Score some touchdowns for your team, right? Okay, what about some things when you're not playing sports, you want to just relax at home and do some enjoyable things for you? What do you like doing?
Watch TV.
What's your favorite shows?
I have Cosby Show. There you go.
Cosby?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good game today. All right. All right, your name, what position you played?
Greg Bear and I played catcher today.
Okay, Greg, now, you were clutch all day today at the plate. I'm going to let you explain to us what your favorite hit was, but you must have had about 5 or 6 of the RBIs out of your team's 10 or 11 runs. Talk to us about your favorite hit today.
My first one where I got the double, that was and scored 3 runs. That was probably my favorite hit today.
That was our favorite, too. We mentioned that in the broadcast. It was bases loaded, and you hit a shot. It was just excellent, really clutch on your part. What about some other games during the season? What was your favorite during the season?
All of them, most of the time.
So you played pretty well consistently all year round?
Yeah.
Now, what about you, since you're a good athlete? What are other sports for you?
Basketball, mostly.
When you play basketball, you play forward or guard or center?
Guard.
Like controlling things out front. Do you have a favorite player in basketball?
Michael Jordan.
He's a pretty decent player, I would say. Is that your favorite team, too, the Chicago Bulls?
Yeah.
Think they'll repeat?
Yeah.
Let's talk about, still, since we're in the baseball season, what happens with you guys now since you won today?
We go on the district, and
Okay. All right. So you're just looking forward to contribute, right?
yeah.
Okay, well, good game today. Played real well, Greg. You take care. All right. Let's get your name, what position you played.
Nathan Tibbs, and I played second base.
Okay, any balls come out to you today at second?
Yeah, almost every inning.
Talk to us about your favorite one.
Oh, my favorite one had to be the last inning where I just hanged on to it and then just threw it to first. That felt good when I threw it to first and got him out.
That's the nice part about second base. You have time to relax and make that throw over. But let's talk to us like your other teammates did about the regular season before the All-Stars came. Any one game that sticks out in your mind that was probably your favorite of all time this year?
Well, there was a lot because all the games that I made diving plays,
Yeah.
I like that. And the players that I dove against got mad at me, but
Yeah.
I guess my most favorite diving play, I guess, was I don't know who it was against, but I was playing third base, and there was a runner on first and second, and I dove and landed on the base, and it was weird, but I got the at.
Yeah, you made a great acrobatic play. So do you use your good athletic ability for other sports as well?
Yeah, I play soccer, and I play every sport, but not put together. I just play soccer with the team.
Good. Well, you guys are all great athletes. Nice for joining us. Okay, let me get your name and what position you play today.
I was Dave Jordan. I played first.
Okay, now you hit the ball well today as well. I mean, talk to us about maybe one of your favorites, Dave.
Favorite today?
Yeah, today.
Probably my first hit when I hit it between left center.
Okay, feels good when you can bang one out into the outfield. And what about you on this season? Any favorite game sticks out in your mind?
My no-hitter against the Red Sox.
Wow, you just closed the door on them, huh? That feels great. Now, again, you guys are all good athletes, and for you, after the baseball season's over, what other sports do you think you'll enjoy?
I sometimes play soccer and basketball, but I think this year I'm just playing baseball.
Oh, okay. So soccer now, when you're playing competitively, what positions was your favorite? You like playing the defensive end or up front in the forwards? What do you like doing?
In what?
In soccer.
Soccer? I like forward, center forward.
Okay. Good. Like being on the scoring end of things. All right. Now, when you're not playing sports, what are some of the hobbies that you enjoy doing just for fun?
Probably swimming and just fooling around.
Good. That keeps you in shape for all the other sports. All right. Any closing thoughts on this whole season that you'd want to share with us?
Just our team did great, especially Gary.
Yeah.
Good stops out there.
Yeah. Good. You guys are an unselfish team. Nice game. Okay. All right. Let me get your name and what position you played.
My name is James Tutler, and I played center field.
Okay. Talk to us about a favorite game that sticks out in your mind on the whole year.
Probably the game, all of them. I don't know. I don't have a favorite game.
And most of the guys are saying all of them, and that makes sense because you guys are all-stars, so obviously you've played well consistently the whole year long. But any strategy coming into this all-star game? What did the coach say to you guys coming into this game?
We had to hit the ball better because last game we weren't hitting the ball that great, and then we started hitting. We started making some plays. So
Came through in the clutch there at the end. What about other sports for you after baseball season?
lots. Soccer, tennis, basketball, anything.
So you're an all-around athlete. Let's talk briefly about tennis, kind of a different sport that popped up. What's your favorite part of tennis? Serving or rushing the net or backhand, forehand?
Just hitting the ball.
Just keeping a rally going, right? Okay, what about you for enjoyment when you're not playing sports? Maybe that's enough for you, I don't know.
Sitting at home relaxing.
Yeah, with your family, you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I don't have a sister, but I have brothers.
Your brothers play sports too?
Yeah.
Good. Athletic family?
Yeah.
All right. Keep playing sports and do good in school. All right. Okay, let me get your name and what position you played.
I'm Sean Barnes, and I played center field.
Okay, talk to Sean. Again, you guys, played consistently well all year long to make the All-Star team. Is there any one particular game that stands out in your mind that might have been the reason why you're here and an All-Star?
I want to hit my grand slam against the White Sox.
Wow. That always feels great, huh? Where'd you hit the ball?
Left field.
You just banged like a line drive type hit or a high ball? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. What about other sports for you?
Not playing any.
So baseball is pretty much your favorite sport, and you're content with that. But now, let's talk about, you can't play baseball all year round. When you just want to have some quiet time at home or maybe with your brothers and sisters, what are some of the things you enjoy doing?
I usually play baseball with my brother in the front yard and everything. And
Okay.
play football on the street. And
Good, yeah, that's a lot of fun. What about, a lot of the kids your age are into, like, collecting sports cards and things like that. Did you ever get involved in that at all?
no.
Okay, you're your own favorite athlete, right? Okay, nothing wrong with that. Okay, good luck next game, and keep it going, all right? All right, your name, what position you played today?
Nathan Bestel, and I played left field part of the game.
Okay, yeah, exactly. You came in and you contributed right away. And talk to us about maybe a favorite player that you had today.
Not many balls were hit out to me, and even if the ones that they did played just normal, I guess.
Okay, so it was kind of a quiet day for you defensively. What about on the season? I was asking all your teammates. Any one game sticks out in your mind that was probably a favorite for you?
Well, all the games, but I like the last game especially.
Talk to us about that.
That was against the A's, and I came in the last inning and shut the team out, struck out 3 in a row.
Good, okay. So you're a pitcher as well. And what about other sports for you?
Probably basketball, but I do play baseball all year round because I'm on a minor amateur league team.
Oh, great. Do you play basketball competitively too?
No, I don't right now,
Okay,
but I hope to soon.
you just like shooting around and stuff like that. How'd you do in school this year?
A's, I guess.
Yeah? What's your favorite subject?
Math.
Okay, is there any one subject you think you'd like to improve on going into next year?
No.
You did pretty well all around. You're a well-rounded guy. Okay, good game today. All right, let me get your name and what position you played.
My name's Tony Constable, and I was base coach the whole game, but normally I play first in outfield.
Okay. Talk to us, Tony, about a favorite game for you on the season that got you here to the All-Stars.
Oh, probably the one against the Indians, and they hit it up the middle, and I caught it and pulled off a double play.
Really?
Yeah.
Feels great when you make a good defensive play. And what about you? I was asking all your teammates, since you guys are All-Stars, obviously most of you are athletic and play other sports. What are some of the other things you enjoy doing?
Oh, probably swimming in our pool. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
When you swim, you like doing like just a regular crawl or backstroke, breaststroke? What do you like?
Just swim around.
Okay. When you're not swimming and playing baseball, what are some of the other things you enjoy doing for fun?
Oh, collecting baseball cards. And
Okay. Do you have a favorite card right now that you really like?
probably a 1989 Ken Griffey Jr. Upper Deck.
Good. Hold on to that one. That's a quality card. Any one card that you don't have right now you think you'd like to probably get in the near future?
Yeah, some singles in my 91 sets.
Good. Well, keep that up. That's a great hobby to have. Okay, Tony. Good luck next game. All right, let me get your name, what position you played.
I'm Josh Harris, and I played right field.
Okay. Now, you came in to the game in the late innings and contributed. Talk to us about this game.
And it was pretty good. I mean, we came back in the last inning, so it was okay.
And you were a part of it. Talk to us, Josh, about maybe your favorite game that sticks out in your mind this year.
My favorite game was when we were playing the Indians, and I hit my grand slam against one of their pitchers and won the game. And I was catching a great game.
Great. See, I can't relate to a grand slam. I've never hit one, so it must feel great, though, right? Okay. And how about school for you? How'd you make out this year in school? Do all right?
Yeah, I did pretty good. I got A's and B's.
Is there, like I was asking your other teammate, any one subject you think you'd like to bring up the grade in?
Probably social studies.
That was always my worst. I'm serious. I hated social studies. What about, do you have to do any reading during the summer? Did they ask you to do that at all?
No.
No. So you can just play baseball and relax.
Yeah.
When you're not playing baseball, what are some of the other sports you like?
None. I usually just play baseball.
Okay, that's enough. Okay. What about when you're not playing baseball and you want to just enjoy some fun time at home with your brothers and sisters or just have some quiet time? What do you enjoy doing?
I watch TV or go out and play or something. You know.
What are your favorite shows on TV?
Probably The Simpsons and some auto racing.
Okay. All right. You got a good little mix there. All right. Take care. Good game. Good luck next game. All right. Okay, let me get your name and what position you play today.
Kevin Watts, right field.
Okay. Yeah, you came in there in the game at the end, but talk to us now, probably not about this game because you won and everyone's already been talking about this game, but let's talk about what you did during this season because everyone did something different. We'd like to have you share that with us.
Batting. I was real good batting.
Okay.
Best batting average on my team.
Did you? Great.
Yeah.
Did you bat like over 300 on the year?
Yeah, 500.
Beautiful. That's awesome. What one game sticks out in your mind that was probably your best at the plate where you got maybe 2 or 3 or more hits?
I came back from a broken arm, and I went 2 for 3 with a double and single.
Awesome. How'd you break your arm?
I fell off my bike.
That wasn't the awesome part that you broke your arm. It's awesome that you went 2 for 3. So you fell off your bike?
Yep.
I hate when that happens. But all right, talk to us about other sports you're going to play after the baseball season.
Soccer.
What position you play?
Goalie and forward.
Okay, good. You guys all play a lot of different sports. How's school going for you? Well, actually, it's summertime, so how'd you make out?
Good. I got A's and B's.
Good. You guys are all bright and good athletes. Well-rounded. Nice game today. You take care. All right. All right, let me get your name, what position you play today.
Gary Thompson, and I played shortstop today.
Okay. Again, another one of the players getting a nice applause here. And we know all the names. We like to ask you guys to introduce yourselves. But you went 4 for 4 today, and you were real aggressive on the base pass. Talk to us about one game that sticks out in your mind this year, Gary, that you really thought was your best.
When I hit my home run and I threw a two-hit shutout against the Rangers.
Okay. So you pretty well-rounded little athlete there. Now, when baseball season's over, Gary, for you, what other sports do you think you might play?
Basketball and soccer.
In basketball, what position you like?
Guard, point guard.
Do you have any favorite players that you idolize when you watch basketball on TV?
Isaiah Thomas.
He's good. Now, are the Pistons your favorite team, or do you like other teams?
Pistons.
Well, Detroit, they were looking at three-peat, but couldn't quite do it this year. Yeah. Okay. What about quiet time for you when you're not playing sports? Because I know you're a great athlete, but what about some of the things when you're with your brothers and you just want to have fun at home and maybe do some... You play basketball? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's just fun for you. What about maybe watching TV or collecting things, anything like that you enjoy doing?
Baseball cards, that's all. And watch TV.
Okay. All right, let's talk about school with you. How'd you make out this year in school?
Good.
What's your favorite subject?
PE.
That was always my favorite. Any one subject that you think you'd like to bring your grade up in?
Science.
Okay. All right, well, bring that science grade up and keep playing sports. Great game today, and good luck the rest of the way. All right, joining us now is the coach of the successful winning team here, Tom Guthrie. First of all, Coach, it's got to feel good winning today's game. What are your thoughts on today's game?
Well, I think that the boys played very well, and I'm the skills and drills coach on this team. Lloyd Munzer runs the people in and out, and I'm real proud of them because they showed a lot of skill and looked like they knew what they were doing. I was very proud of them.
I'm glad you mentioned that about skills because at 11 and 12 years of age, what I'm most impressed by is how fundamentally sound these kids are already. I'm sure a lot of them have been playing for a few years, but how many days a week do you practice?
Well, with these kids here, this last 2 weeks we practiced almost every day, but some of these kids play baseball almost 12 months of the year. Some of these kids play for me on a winter team that plays as soon as this is over, and they play baseball right up to January. So what you see is really the culmination of kids that play baseball all the time.
And this seems to me to be the age group where winning starts to become a little bit more important. When T-ball is just go out there, learn the basic fundamentals, have a good time, but it seems to be a whole different disposition now. It's like go out there and enjoy the game, but also try to win. Put that effort forth. How do you share that with the children?
These kids definitely want to win, no doubt about it. They have a great desire to play the game correctly. I would say if anything that these boys do is they get down on themselves. They have a great manager who thinks a lot of them, and he tries to play every boy, and he and I sometimes disagree on that.
Right.
But he's a good manager. The boys like him, and we have a good rapport all the way around. And so winning is not as important as it might seem to you. These kids handle losing pretty well.
Yeah.
They're a good bunch of boys. I'm proud of them.
So since they won today, what's up next for them?
We play Thursday or Friday. I'm not sure exactly when. You'll have to ask the head guru, and
Okay.
I don't know for sure. As I say, he handles all of that. I just teach him baseball.
Okay. All right. Thanks for joining us. Good luck the rest of the way. Okay. And joining us now is the manager for the American team, Lloyd Munzer. Talk to me just for a minute, Lloyd, about the difference between a manager and a coach. Because when I was growing up playing ball, we always had a coach, but we never had a manager and a coach. But that seems to be the way they work things nowadays. What's the major difference?
Well, I can tell you how it works with us. Tom Guthrie's been my coach now for the last year, and we work very well as a team together. He was my coach for the Indians last year, which was our Poway American Little League team. And during the off season, we have a winter league where he's the manager of that team and I'm his coach. So the coach pretty much takes care of the base paths. He works with the kids, keeps them, does the drills and coordinates a lot of the drills and things like that. And he's very good at motivating the kids, and he gets their attention. My job is more instrumental in keeping the lineup and making the changes and just trying to keep things rolling.
Sure. And you did just that. It must have felt good to win an All-Star game today.
We had a great game. So I was very happy.
Okay. Now, you're going to play Thursday night. Is that what it is? Do you know who you're going to be playing against yet?
I don't have any idea who we're going to play Thursday night. I believe it'll be one of the coast teams, either north or south, and that's yet to be determined. We'll either play at 5 or 8 o'clock.
Okay. How did they come up with you being the manager of the All-Stars? You must have managed one of the teams during the regular season and did a nice job, and so they said, hey, let's come and manage the All-Stars. How did that work?
Well, traditionally in Poway American Little League, the winning team, that manager is named as the coach of the All-Star team, and then he gets to pick his own coach.
Okay. So it's been a successful year winning-wise for you. And what are your thoughts? Let me get your disposition behind the age group being 11 and 12, winning as opposed to just coming out here and having fun and learning the fundamentals. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, during the early years, I believe that the fundamentals are very, very important, and learning how to win as well as lose is very important. So, not so much emphasis is put on that during the earlier years, but when you start getting into the major division, it does become competitive. So we teach the kids to try and win within the rules. Play aggressive and play to win within the rules.
Okay.
And try and be gentlemen about it.
Exactly. Well, you and Tom have the right approach, and it's carried over to the kids. You can see they have great attitudes. Thanks for joining us, and best of luck the rest of the week. All right, that wraps things up here at Mountain View Park. I'm Mike Benson for George Langevin Productions, saying that I hope you enjoyed this All-Star Classic. The American team victorious over the national team by a score of 10-6, coming through in the clutch in the last inning of play. Until next time, you guys take care.